Welcome to Eternal Elements Learning Podcast brought to you by Tiasa Online. These podcasts are a part of the audio certificate programs on Tiasa Online. You're free to take these podcasts on your desired portal also, should you only wish to learn on the go. Thank you so much for engaging on these podcasts, and you can connect with the author on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Hi, welcome back. This is Niket Karajagi from Tiasa Online, presenting to you the podcast on Eternal Elements. We're talking about leadership frameworks, and the question was, what is it all about wise leaders? What is it all about wisdom-based leadership? And then I said, wow, that's nice. So let's look at the answers for this. Who is a wise leader? So I took him back in time and I said, look, there used to be these tribes, and every tribe had a wise old man or wise old woman. And what would they do? They would help the tribes do well by giving them mentoring inputs. Well, how do these wise leaders actually give a mentoring input? And what came out in the conversation was that the primary instance of wisdom-based leadership is that leaders tend to consistently modify their behaviors. So wise leaders are the ones who consistently modify their behaviors based on the situation. We live in the 21st century, which is a VUCA world, which requires constant modifications of behaviors. And if the behaviors are not modified, then obviously things can go horribly wrong. So what do wise leaders do? They sit down with their teams, they sit down with their own self too. And what do? They determine the critical success behaviors, and then they put up the measurement criteria for these critical success behaviors, and then they deploy these behaviors and consistently monitor whether these behaviors are creating the desired output. A lot of times behaviors do create a desired output, and a lot of them they don't, because ultimately the choice of behavior is intuitive in nature unless and until you use analytics, and those analytics can determine in your competency frameworks of the organization which behavior will be deployed in which situation. So wisdom-based leadership is all about understanding that past behaviors and the present behaviors are totally different, because past behaviors may not necessarily create the outcomes for the current situations. Leaders are superstitious. They believe the past behaviors will give them the outcomes that they desire in the current situation, but that's not what happens. So what is wisdom-based leadership all about? Wisdom-based leadership is all about consistent modifications of behaviors of themselves and their teams, and consistently measuring whether those behaviors are creating the desired outcome. That's it. That's where we came up with this answer, and that's where we sorted out the question for what is wisdom-based leadership. This is Niket Karajagi talking to you about wisdom-based leadership, signing off from Eternal Elements. See you in the next podcast.